With tensions escalating in the Strait of Hormuz following America's latest threats, fears of global economic shockwaves are mounting once again. And now, Russia is stepping in with a stark warning. The Kremlin spokesperson issued a cautionary note on April 13th to the U.S. as the American military's naval blockade of Iran took effect after the deadline set by Donald Trump passed. Dmitry Peskov said a blockade on Iran's ports and coastline is almost certain to hit global markets. He refrained from making any further comments due to what he said was lack of clarity on the declared U.S. plan.
Well, most likely such actions will continue to negatively affect international markets. This can be assumed with a significant degree of certainty, but many details here remain unclear, incomprehensible. Therefore, I would now refrain from any substantive comments.
Separately, speaking to the press, he said that Russia hopes the latest standoff between the U.S. and Iran won't push the two rivals towards an armed conflict once again.
But the situation is still very far from being resolved. We can only hope it doesn't escalate to an armed...
The chilling warning from Russia came as the United States president announced it will block shipping traffic in and out of Iranian ports at 10 a.m. Washington time on April 13th. A move observers say could cut off nearly 2 million barrels of oil per day from global markets. The threat was later reiterated by Trump in a video statement to the press.
I would say it's holding well. Their military is destroyed. Their whole Navy is underwater. You know that 158 ships are gone. Their Navy's gone. Most of their mine droppers are gone. We have a lot of people, as you know, at 10 o'clock tomorrow, we have a blockade going into effect. That'll be 10 o'clock tomorrow. Other nations are working so that Iran will not be able to sell oil. And that will be very effective. But what we want to do is we want to, and again, we don't need it. What we notice and what we see and what I think is maybe my idea, maybe not, I don't know. But there are many boats heading toward our country to fill up with oil and then go and take it. So they're not going to go through the Hormuz Strait. And ultimately that'll be corrected. But in the meantime, they're using us. We have more oil because of drill, baby, drill. We have more oil than Russia and Saudi Arabia put together.
Meanwhile, Peskov also made a dramatic proposal to diffuse tensions between the U.S. and Iran. He said that Moscow is ready to take control of Iran's enriched uranium as part of a potential peace deal with the United States. The offer, originally put forward by President Vladimir Putin, has reportedly been shared with both Washington and regional players, but so far, no one has acted on it.
This proposal was put forward by President Putin in his interactions both with the United States and with various regional states. This proposal remains in effect, but it has not been acted upon.
At the center of this warning is the strategic Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most vital energy routes, partially blocked by Iran, targeting oil shipments linked to the U.S., Israel, and their allies. Frustrated by Iran's continued blockade of the key strait, U.S. President Donald Trump ordered the siege of Iranian ports. And now, the stakes couldn't be higher, with Iran vowing to set all the ports in the Persian Gulf and the Sea of Oman on fire if its harbors were to be attacked by the U.S.
A sudden surge of U.S. warplanes and troops into West Asia has once again put the region on edge, shattering hopes of a longer lull in devastating strikes and counterstrikes. A Russia Today report from April 13th says that the Pentagon has rushed multiple warplanes to the Middle East a day after high-stakes talks with Iran collapsed in Islamabad. Observers have been quick to point out that this was not a routine military movement, but reinforcement at lightning speed. According to U.S. officials cited by RT, nearly 1,000 additional troops have been deployed alongside attack aircraft ready for rapid response. And that's not all. At least 2,000 paratroopers from the elite 82nd Airborne Division are now reportedly being positioned for potential ground operations. The report came as U.S. President Donald Trump declared that a blockade of Iranian ports will begin on Monday, a day after vowing to blow the hell out of Iran. The U.S. Central Command also released a statement saying that the blockade will not impede ships sailing through the Strait of Hormuz to or from other countries. Meanwhile, Iran's parliament speaker reacted to Trump's latest threats by making it clear that the country will not surrender under threats. Separately, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps stressed that military vessels approaching the strait will be, quote, dealt with severely, unquote. Earlier on April 12th, the United States Navy released stunning images of sailors preparing aircraft for what it said were nighttime combat operations across the Central Command region, which includes Iran. At the same time, dozens of U.S. refueling aircraft were reportedly spotted lined up at Israel's Ben Gurion Airport, ready to support fighter jet operations at a moment's notice. Refueling aircraft are critical in sustaining long-range airstrikes, allowing warplanes to stay in the air longer, go farther, and hit harder. As of early 2026, numerous U.S. Air Force refueling aircraft, including KC-135 Stratotankers and KC-46 tankers, have been deployed to Ben Gurion Airport, with reports indicating at least 14 tankers present amid the war with Iran. These planes support U.S. and Israeli military operations, with joint training and refueling missions frequently conducted in the region. As warplanes arrive and troops mobilize, the question is, what comes next? Is this a show of force or the beginning of something far bigger?
News never stops. The world keeps turning, and every turn tells a story. Wars, elections, geopolitics, Davids versus Goliaths.
While everyone is celebrating the US-China trade talk, Trump has been quietly doing something else across Asia.
These were once home to the ancient Silk Road connecting east and west.
But who's connecting the dots? Who's decoding the global storm? Welcome to Times of India videos.
You're watching a special edition of Global Pulse with me, Neha Khanna.
We decode the shifting grains of geopolitics to you. From Washington to Wuhan. Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Just 2 years ago, Canada was one of the most popular countries for Indian students.
From Davos to Delhi, we track the decisions that move markets, shift policies, and shape the future. No jargon, no bias, just clear, credible, global journalism. Because understanding the world doesn't have to be complicated, it just has to be smart. And that's what we do best. At Times of India videos, we don't just tell stories, we build perspective. We connect the dots between what's global and what's personal, what's happening out there, and what it means for you. It's fast. It's fearless. It's making sense of the changing world order. Times of India videos. Because your worldview is just a tap away.